Hey guys, in this video we will build this 23.5 kilowatts Powerwall using lithium iron phosphate batteries. This build is going to be in configuration 3 cells in a parallel, 16 cells in a series. We will use Chargery BMS for this build, and also I have active balancer connected to this Powerwall just in case I need to use it. Let's go and build this. Here's 8 boxes of lithium iron phosphate batteries. In every box we have 4 cells, 155 amps cell. Let's unpack and see how they packed and looking. So this is how it looks out of the box. $329, $329, $329, $329. Alright, so let's unpack all of these boxes. Just a quick update. So I'm running this battery connected, 2 banks for 48 volts connected to my solar system. I have small array right now, 700 watts. So it's charging for a few days, and right now we're charging, let's see. Right now we're charging with 9 amps, and this battery is not connected to BMS, so I need to be extra careful not to overcharge them. So I set it voltage for total voltage in my charger controller to have final voltage for every cell will be 3.6. I guess it's 57 something there. If I measure voltage on one cell, right now we are 334, and the total voltage here 55.3. So it's gonna take a few more, I guess, days. Okay, so we're reaching 3.62 volts at the cells. So on cells we have 363. What I'm going to do next is disassemble all of these 32 cells, attach 16 additional cells that I have, and I will configure 3P16S configuration. We'll charge again to 363. All right, so next day and next step. So what I did, I set it all of these batteries here. It's 48 cells right now, packed 3 cells in a series and 16 cells, no, 3 cells in a parallel, 16 cells in series. I configured 48 volts battery. I attached this active balancer, and actually this active balancer did a great job for night. It balanced all of these batteries cells. I will attach a screenshot from app. but if we measure cell voltage, so let's try a few cells. So we have 3643. Let's try another cell. 3643. Let's try another cell. 363. So at this point all cells balanced. We reached almost 365 volts for every cell. Next step, I'm going to crimp my own bus bars and we'll start assembling batteries in a metal cabinet. Now I'm doing these bus bars. I'm using 1/0 gauge wire with these crimp ends and this crimper. Let's see how it works. Next step, what we're going to do is to pack all of these batteries into this metal box. So I found this box, one YouTuber made a similar power wall using this Craftsman metal cabinet, and these batteries fits nicely, like exactly 4 batteries. Fits exactly nice this box. So small addition, what I did here is I borrowed cardboard from my kids projects. So I have here's, if you see it is like red paper. I installed back size. It was used in a battery packing, so battery will not hit metal back of this cabinet. Same paper here, just additional insulation for every battery. Also I cut this small piece of paper to add extra extra insulation here, and also as well between batteries I will install this piece of paper here, just like have like small additional insulation. So configuration for batteries is going to be, we will start with first cell here, then we go this way, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this way, and we'll have main negative and main positive on the top of pack. Then this line represents where bus bar is going to be connected. I'm waiting for heat shrink to cover this part. It's gonna arrive soon. So now coming back to power wall, to this box, I printed these labels. We will mark every cell like 13, 1, 2, 3, etc. Like every cell is going to be marked. Then this piece is going to be main shut off, so it's going to be installed somewhere here. And I'm waiting for also for connector. It's going to be 1 1/4, if I remember correctly. So in one, what is the name for this? Connector. So in this connector, this is 3/4. I don't have enough space to run 2 wires here, so I ordered bigger one, so I will have just one conduit with 2 wires inside. Alright, so next step, I'm going to follow this diagram to connect all cells in a series to have 16S. For connections, I'm going to use 3 type of bus bars, and I will explain why. So first type of bus bar went with these cells. If you see, it doesn't have A5 sticker on it, so I purchased this before, maybe 3 months before I purchased that one. So this is 150 amp hours, this is 155 amp hours. These cells, all of these cells I've got from BLS seller, and when I've got this 16 cells battery, it was about, if I remember correctly, it was about like 30 these bus bars. So I can connect them in series or in parallel. It was enough bus bars to connect all of them. So then when I've got a second part of batteries, I've got 32 cells of 155. They came with this type of bus bars, and they given only 15 bus bars for 16 cells, so I can connect them only in series. And then even if I have these 2 types, it's not enough. I don't have enough bus bars to connect all of them in parallel and in series to make this connection. I checked BLS website to see how much it's gonna cost me to buy additional bus bars, and the price was like crazy. Additionally, I had this 1 0 gauge wire, so I decided I will just crimp these wires and use them as additional bus bars. They work excellent, so I'm just going to use these bus bars to connect between cells, and those 2 to connect cells in a parallel. Also, because this space is so tight, I have this wrench which I'm going to use in the bottom cells to attach bus bars and balance terminals. So I have this 10 millimeters wrench which I'm going to insulate to avoid shorting cells. Here's insulated wrench. One update here is when I'm connecting these big bus bars, I need to have more longer studs here. So I need to replace these studs because original is pretty short, and if I have 2 thin bus bars, it works. If I have, for example, 1 thick bus bar, you can see here I don't have enough space to install this bus bar. So what I did, I purchased from I purchased these extended bus bars. It's 25 millimeters, and I guess this one is about like 18 millimeters. And the problem here is, let me show you problem. So if I install this, oops. If I install this bus bar, so it's all way there. So see what's gonna happen. If you can see, it has play, like I screwed it till the end, but it's still like playing. Why it's happening? Because at the end of cell right there, you can see it has conical end. And if we check original bus bar, it also has conical end, in this case on the right. I hope you see it. But starts from Amazon that I've got. They just cut these bus bars and it's not conical at all. So what I'm doing with every bus bar, I have this 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm sanding every bus bar. So I'm sanding every bus bar so it has this conical end. Now let's install this. Okay, so if I try to if you try to move this, you see it's solid. It's not moving at all anymore. Quick update about bus bars. Okay, so now all bus bars connected and I'm working on a balancing leads. In my case, I want to have 2 sets of balancing leads coming for this power wall. One I'm going to use for active balancer, and the second set of wires I'm going to use for BMS. I'm not gonna discuss why I need active balancer, but I might not use it, but I want to have option to connect easily active balancer. Before, on a previous version, I created this board where I can connect one port is for BMS, second is for active balancer, and this is going to battery. But the problem is when active balancer pushing 2 amps, BMS was sensing false high voltage and disconnecting battery from load or from charger. So to avoid this problem, I'm running 2 sets of wires for my cells. As you can see here, I have like 2 sets of wires. At this point, all balance leads are organized. So it's going from every cell to top left corner, where is my active balancer connected right now. And I have these 2 sets of wires to use with BMS. For this power wall, as of today, I'm going to use Chargery BMS, reviews for this BMS on my channel. Also, maybe important to mention, for this power wall, I don't have any kind of ventilation, so these batteries will be unventilated. The reason is because I'm living in a climate where the temperature is around 70 Fahrenheit entire year. At winter it's about maybe 50, but it's not too warm and it's not too cold, so I don't need to ventilate these batteries. So in theory, it's not gonna get too cold or too hot. BMS will still have temperature sensors, which is gonna be connected to cells, and in case of extreme temperature, low or high, it will disconnect load or charging. So now when this metal cabinet connected to my DC box, which I'm redoing as well here, now I'm finishing all wires and we will flip circuit breaker. Alright, so I just finished all wiring here in this distribution box, all wires connected. Going down here is I I have charger BMS connected right there, active balancer on the left here, shunt connected. Then on the back side you see fuse. Then from fuse we are going to DC switch. I insulated these studs just in case when I'm going to, if I need to unscrew these wires, I'm not gonna short this to metal cabinet. Then all this going up to distribution box, and here's the final result. What is interesting, this project took me about 1.5 weeks, and mostly because I didn't have enough parts, and between start date and end date I have new solar array installed. So right now I'm charging these batteries with 2 kilowatts. My solar array is almost 4 kilowatts, but right now it's morning, so it's doesn't work full power yet. So I'm charging with 39 amps, almost 39 amps. I have some load connected to this power wall, so we see less amps here on the charger BMS. And now let's talk about things that I learned when I started building this power wall. Tip number 1 is insulate all tools that you are using to build the power wall. So kind of in this range I have this heat shrink, and any wrench or any tool that I use to build the power wall, I added a piece of heat shrink so I'm not accidentally short cells. Tip number 2 is to use quality materials. I tried cheaper lug nuts from eBay that I see on eBay. So here's the number 8, and I can bend this with just one hand. And that one is from Home Depot, so you can see like this quality is much better. Price difference is maybe like, I don't know, 30% price difference, but I wouldn't trust this kind of lug nuts. Second is wires. So these wires, I think it's from AliExpress, and that one is from Home Depot. It's Windy Nation. And even if we see here, it's number 6 wires. I tested 2 of them, and when I'm pushing same amount of amps, these wires start heating up when that one remains cold. And the last piece is a heat shrink. So on the left side it's heat shrink from Amazon, on the right side is a heat shrink from AliExpress. Left heat shrink is twice more expensive, but you can see like how much thicker is the left side than this one. Next tip is don't oversize your system. So when I was planning my system, I thought bigger is better, and I bought 600 amps shunt so I can push like 30 kilowatts through my system. I've got this 10 gauge wire. It was before I started building this power wall, and then this wire was just sitting in my shelf. Then when I started building power wall, I understand that I'm not gonna push 30 kilowatts through this. So, and I just have this wire. So I built all bus bars using this wire just to use this wire. So theoretically it could be done with 2 gauge wire, but I need to use this wire. And the bigger is wire is harder to like bend this, to crimp, etc. And it's more expensive. So when you oversizing your system, it's going to be more expensive. So think if you need such a big wires and such if you're going to push so many amps through your system. Next tip is opposite to previous one, is don't undersize your system. So when I started building my distribution box, I used everywhere number 6 gauge wire, and at this time it was enough for me because I had just one inverter which can push like 35 amps maximum, and this wire was more than enough. But then I need to add second inverter, and now I need to push 70 amps, and the number 6 wire is not good enough anymore, so I upgraded to 2 gauge wire. So what is causing is I have a lot of, right here I have a lot of wires which is unused, and pretty much not reusable. Then when I was changing wire size, I need to buy lugs for every wire. For example, for 1/0 I need two different lugs, with hole 3/8 and with hole of 5/16. Same for wire number 2, same for wire number 6, etc. So if you calculate your amperage correctly, then you don't need to buy so many lugs. You can just buy 2 sets and work with that one. Same for conduit. I had 3/4 conduit, but now it's not enough to push number 2 gauge wires, so I have to buy this 1/4 conduit, which is of course also expensive. In the end, you have a lot of leftover wires which you cannot use anymore. Alright, that's all about this Powerwall. I hope you will find some useful information in this video. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching and see you later.